Welcome everyone. Thanks joining our webinar today. Topic is Minitab automation with SPC monitoring. I'm Nausalawati. I'm the technical support specialist at Bizit Systems. Bizit Systems are independent local and representation for Singapore, Malaysia and Batam, Indonesia. Okay, before we get started, if you have questions during presentation, please type them into the question box in your control panel. You may send any time throughout the presentation, but I will address them during the Q&A session at the end of our webinar. Kindly ensure that you have a connected to audio via computer speaker. Please fill out our survey before you exit the tab. This survey will help us to improve the quality for our upcoming webinar. For information, this webinar will be recorded and therefore it will be set listen-only mode to avoid interpretation to the audio recording. The recording will be accessible anytime later on our website www.bizit.com or by subscribing to our YouTube channel, Minitab Malaysia and Singapore. Okay. So for those are new with us, we already nearly 15 years in the market. Minitab provides you of the tools like Minitab Statistical Software, Software Predictive Modeler, we have a Minitab Connect, we have the Quality Trainer, we have the Minitab Workspace, and then we have a Minitab Engage. So all this one is a product from the Minitab itself. Okay, but today we focus on the Minitab Statistical Software. Okay, so actually Minitab was developed in 1972 from the three Penn State professor get the Minitab Statistical Software to help their teaching at the university level. After that, year by year, the software will be adapted by other schools and the revision in the way people teach and they conduct the data analysis. So today, Minitab already on the 21 version. Last few weeks, we launched the Minitab 21. Okay, so now from the Minitab 20, now everywhere you go, you can access the Minitab since we are available on the cloud. Okay. So I think this one is a sum of the tools are available in Minitab Statistical Software. For example, if for the quality side, okay, we have a measurement system analysis. Okay, we have a gauge study, we have the attribute agreement analysis. If let's say your data is a text data, something like yes or no, and then you have a control chart. So we have a variable control chart, we have a subgroup control chart, we have attribute control chart. Okay, we have a capability analysis, and then our flagship product is a capability six pack. So we also have something like acceptance sampling. If let's say you're coming from the statistical quality control, so we cover for the acceptance sampling and then tolerance interval. Not only cover for the SPC part, measurement systems, control chart and capability, we also have the acceptance sampling. Okay. If let's say for the reliability engineering, also we have something like distribution analysis, we have the warranty analysis, we have the regression with the live data. Okay, we have the probit analysis. Okay, so if let's say you are coming from the product development or R&D, for I think most of you familiar with the design of experiment itself. Okay, we not limit for the full factorial. We have something like screening design. We have the fractional factorial. We have the response surface, or we have mixture, or we have a Taguchi design also in the Minitab. Okay, and then if let's say nowadays we talk about the data driven, okay, big data and so on. So it's a company from the business analytics. We also have a tool, something like correlation. Okay, we have the statistical modeling, something like regression. Okay, something like regression. multivariate models, we have a cluster analysis, and then we have a time series analytic. Okay, we have multivariate methods, and then we have a visualization. New updating from Minitab 20, we have we call it graph builder, automate the visualization. Okay, inside the visualization, we have the scatter plot, we have the heat map, we have the box plot, and so on. Okay, and then we also have something like process validation. Okay, so we have something like in the process validation, we have 3 stages. The first one is a process design itself. Most of us using the hypothesis testing. Okay, I think if let's say you're familiar with the Minitab, so for the hypothesis testing, so easy to see easy to handle it. Okay, so might be useful if let's say you're using the S system menu. Okay, inside there you can see how to use the mean for the standard deviation and so on. Okay, and then we have the process qualification, something like control chart also. And then we have the continued process validation, something like measurement system analysis also. So all these complete tools in one software, we call it Minitab Statistical Software. Okay, so since we are already many complete tools for analysis, so our customer are coming from various of sector, okay, including manufacturing itself. We have a big sector for the manufacturing. We have electronic, we have the automotive and so on. Okay, we also have a services customer and then academician customer. Okay, so today our focus on the automate, how to do the automate in Minitab. So seems like Excel also we have a macro inside the Minitab. This one is not the new one, already old for the old version also available for the macro side. But today we have an additional one for the web apps, also can run the command from the web app also. I will show after this. We go for the desktop first, and then after we go for the web apps. Okay, and then we try integrate the Minitab with the task scheduler, but task scheduler is something like programming from the window. So I think all of us, majority of us using the window, so you're able to see in your laptop, we have the task scheduler. We try integrate or link from the Minitab to the task scheduler to run your analysis. So from there, you can reduce your time and then easy to you to handle it. Okay, and then this one is a little bit new. If let's say you using the Minitab 19 version, we have the integration. So no worries if let's say your team may have or you yourself excellent on the coding, something like from the Python or R. So now you able to run your coding into Minitab and you run your script into Minitab, and then the output also in the output in the Minitab output pin. So no worries if let's say you are team-based and then you have data scientists who are excellent on the coding part, so you are able to use the Minitab also to where we can integrate with the Python and R. But each one is available for new version of Minitab, starting with the Minitab 19 for Python, and then for the R is Minitab 20. So I will go after this for this kind of the requirement before you can integrate with the Minitab. Okay. So it's something like this one is a macro, is the stat file. For this a new one with the macro that contains a series of commands that can be used to automate tasks in the Minitab. So with the macro itself, you no need to open the dialog box and so on. So you just write something simple script with the macro side, and then you can automate the task in the Minitab. So macro allow to customize Minitab functionality to serve your specific needs. So no need to find out where is our control chart, so where is XBar chart. So you already have your command, and then you can run directly Okay, so you run macro in both sides with the desktop version and the web app version of the Minitab Statistical Software. But for the app version has some limitation for now. Maybe after this we update, and then we can get same as a desktop version. Okay, so macro can use to automate the repetition task, and then you has such something like a monthly graphical analysis or daily summary of the statistic. Okay, so this one in macro to help extend the Minitab functionality, okay, such as calculating and especially a test statistic repeating a series of common style, graph ethic, and employing the alternative method of analysis. So something like you have your repetition task, something like for the SPC side. For control chart side, you have every weekly data set coming, so you have your XBar chart only, so you have a repetition task, so easy to see if to use if let's say you're using the macro side. Okay, so in the Minitab, actually we have a 3 type of macros. Okay, we call the first one is we call as a macro. We have second side we call global macro, and then we have the local macro. So the simplest one is an exact macro. Okay, you can run a series of command in the Minitab inside, but not include the no control statement, something like if or you on or something that one. So no in the exact macro. But if let's say you want to have a something like if or no something that one, so you can go for the global macro. Okay, so it's a simple work with global active worksheet. So meaning to say that you need to have open your worksheet first, and then you can run the global macro, and then you have the most powerful and the flexible, but the most complex and hard to write. So you can use for the local macro for this thing. Okay, but today I just focus on the XBar macro only. Okay, so for this today I just show on the XBar macro. So because we have limited time to show all this thing. Okay, so but for the XBar macro, your external file, station file is a .mtb files. If let's say for the global macro and the local macro, you have a extension .mac file, since for the local also. But today we focus on the XBar macro only. Okay, so before we go further, I think I open the Minitab first, okay, to see where is our command line, where is our history line. Say, okay, for the new updating, you able to get the command line in the Minitab itself. So you can go for the file. Okay, you can go for, you can go for the view. Okay, so you can go for the view, and then you see the command line or history. Okay, you click on this one. Okay, so you're able to see on the command line here. Okay, you're able to see the history. History is something like you already run it. Okay, data in this one, so the able write the script in here. Okay, if let's say you have the new script or new task, so you can write the script into the command line, and then you click the run here. Okay, so go to view, I will do, and you choose the command line. Okay, you choose the command line here. Okay, for example here, you go for the file, I open, okay, open the file. Okay, for example, I choose the Excel file. From the Excel file, I open it. Okay, so all this one, so you can view all this. Okay, so for example, here is a flow import, and then I click OK. Okay, so I want to all this one. Okay, so you see that here is a history. So all the comment or dialog box you already open. So all this one in this history. Okay. So but the new version that Minitab 21 is have a new improvement. Something like here is you can close it for the show or hide the comment line here. Okay, but this one is for the new updating Minitab 21. Okay, so this one is if let's say you want to check your version, so you can go for the hub about Minitab. Okay, so you can see in this one is for this case for I'm 21.1 version. So now you can get this one. Okay, this one is for new version. Okay, you can close it or you can open it for the command line. But no worries, you can go for the view. you can choose the command line or history line. Okay, so a little bit different with the all generation like Minitab 18, 16 is something like differences for here. If you view, you choose the command line or history line. Okay, so you can able to see on this one. Okay. Okay, so for this case, we already open the data set. Okay, we try first with the, want to have a something like a comment here. Okay, but you can get the comment, run the script, but you need to go for the help to see what is script for the histogram, something that one. If let's say you don't want go that one, so you can see little bit like something like we go for the start, we go for the control chart, you open the dialog box first. Okay, for this case, we choose the XBar. Okay, for this case, because we have a supplier 1, supplier 2, we have supplier 3. So we have subgroup 5. So every time we take the 5 observation. So we need to say that we have a subgroup 5. Okay, so every 2 hours or something that one. So we take it 5 subgroup. So the best control chart is the XBar chart. So we go for the start, we go for the control chart, we choose the subgroup. So we choose the XBar chart. Okay, so for this case, I choose the supplier 1. Okay, for subgroup size, I choose the subgroup and then click OK. Okay, this one is the default setting. We want to this one only. Okay, we want to this. So you see that this already here for the XBar chart. But now you want to do the same thing, same is a control chart XBar chart, but for the supplier too. So might be you can go back to the dialog box, you include, so here is you choose the supplier too. Okay, so click OK. So now we don't want here. Okay, we want to use the macro. Okay, for example here, click, you can copy from the history, you go back to the command line. So you paste it in here. Okay, for example, I want to choose the supplier 3 here. So I choose supplier 3. So I click run. Okay, so you get the supplier 3. So actually you can write the command line in this box. Okay, if let's say you don't want open back to the dialog box. Okay, Minitab will do can here. But this is a simple coding, something like Minitab is trigger for the first 4 character here. Okay, first 4 character XBar, XBar CH. So this one is the common line, common code for this XBar chat. Okay, so Minitab just trigger on the 4 for X1. So if let's say you want more for this case, you can go for the help. Okay, you can choose the help. Okay, you choose the help and then you're able to see on this one. Okay, so you can go for the macro library. Okay, so you can go for the macro help. Okay, so you can see that in this one, or you can download directly on the macro help or automation help. So in here already we have we have the code for here. Okay, so you can get from this help. Okay, so you can get all this coding here. Okay, all this one. Okay, so from the help button itself. Okay, so if let's say you don't want go, you can build first. So for example, go to photograph, you go for the histogram, maybe you want to see the histogram. Just simple, click OK, and then you choose supplier 1 and you click OK. So this one is the command for the histogram. Okay, for example, you want also copy and paste it a bit here. Okay. So this one is a supplier 2. So you just right click and then click run it. So you get the supplier 2. So if let's say you want to this one, set supplier 3. So you run it supplier 3. So all this one, you can get the code from the dialog box itself. If let's say the first time you do, and then the second time, no need to open the dialog box again. So you just proceed with this code only. Okay, you can run it the command line here. Okay, this one is the helpful if let's say you want to use it for the reporting purpose, because you different data set, but you have a same tools you want to analyze your data set to do the reporting purpose. Okay, or something like you can execute the macro file here. Okay, so you able to save it all this one. So you can able to save this one in the notepad, and then you need to save it in the .mtb file. Okay, I will show. So for example, you want to open this, all this one. Okay, click copy. Okay, so you open the notepad. Okay, you open the notepad. Okay, you open the notepad and then you paste it in the notepad. Okay, and then you save it. Okay, file, you save, okay, save as, and then you choose all the file. For example, is webinar. Okay, .mtb. Okay, XBar mtb. Then you save it. I save it at the desktop. So click save. Okay, so after this, if you want to run it again, okay, so file, open new project. Okay, the one, this one. Okay, we'll open the new project. I want to execute our script. Okay, go to file. So where to find out run and exit file. Okay, so run. So select this one. I need to choose the desktop. Okay, I choose the webinar and then I open it. So they execute that file into this new project file. Okay, so if let's say you are already a set of tools, you already do for your data set for the reporting, you will have some script, okay, or the script, so you can run able to file, run and execute the file. Okay, so you can edit the file itself. Okay, so you can edit the file itself. For example, here, okay, I go back to the, wait. Okay, so we already this here. So you can add the comment, okay, something like exit or saving or so on. So you able to edit in this file, okay, exit file, something like we are already here. So here already. Okay, so I already have something like comment here. So I have something as bar chart also for the supplier one, but I want to save it, that file. Okay, I want to save that file and I want to save in the JPEG format. Also for the XBar chart for the supplier 2, supplier 3. And then I want to save that project and then want to exit. Okay, close it after run it to close the project itself. So I will try for this case. Okay, so file, new, open, new project. Okay, so I go to file and run. Imagine I already have our task. Okay, so I choose this one. I click open. Okay, so Minitab already run it on this one. Okay, so I go back to this. Sorry. Okay, so you see that this one is a graph one. Okay, you can open it back. Is it this one? So this one is graph one. Okay, graph for this graph supplier 2, and then this one is supplier 3. So all this one already in our folder. Since I already saved it, the project file, the graph itself. So in this, for example here, okay, so in our DSC macros. Okay, so from here, I need to open the data set. Okay, open the data set from the Excel file. Okay, And then I want to create the XBar chart for the supplier 1, supplier 2, supplier 3. And beside the create the control chart, I want to save that control chart. And then I will rename the control chart for the graph 1, graph 2, graph 3. And then I also want to Minitab save that project, save. And then I want to exit the project. So all this one, you can write the comment here, and then you can run directly from the Minitab itself. Okay. So if you, but you need to have something like the history. Okay, something. So you need to have something that we call it the common, the common line here. You need to have the common line. So you need to type the common line if let's say you already know. Okay, and then you need to go for the exit macro. So in the exit macro is you have two ways, whether you will copy comment, just I show, and then you can use the option, the right menu. So for example, in this case, okay, sorry, this case, for this case, we already done it, okay, using the macro side, okay, we already done for this macro side. So this one, actually, if let's say you go back to this one, okay, XBar chart, then click OK. This way subgroup, click OK. So you get this one. So right click, you can save it already, or you can copy and paste it to Notepad. Okay, so if let's say you copy and paste it to Notepad, and then you can edit. Also, if let's say you save as a history, also you can edit, but you need to open in the Notepad file. Okay, so for this case, we go back to this one. Okay, so already copy, you can copy, and then I already show on the Notepad, you can file the save as, and then you need to rename that file, and then you can save all the files .mtb. Okay, and then you can run and execute file in the 3 ways to using the file menu, what we show, or you can using the session command. Okay, and then you can access the .mtb extension to open the Minitab, right click. So if let's say you want to more on this one, you can go for the help button to help you want to save it, how to save, how to open the Minitab, want to stop the Minitab. This comment, so you can go for the help button here. Okay, so already you can run and execute the file, and then you can use in the session command here. So we have a 2 way for the using file, and then you can using the session command here. Okay. So come back. Okay, so ready. If let's say you already have the file, you can run and execute. If let's say you want to, you can write the comment here. Okay, so you have 2 options, whether you can go for the file, you can run, or you can write the comment here. Okay, without open the dialog box. If let's say you want to easy, and then you don't want write the comments, so you can go for the standard style is we're going to open the dialog box. Or you need to choose, go for the stat. For example, you're going to go to tools, and then you choose the capability analysis. So it's something like you don't want to do this every time to want to do the analysis. So that's one you able to use the macro one. Okay. So we go for the next one. Okay. So we can run the macro in the web apps, but some command are not currently support in the execute or macro file. So all this one in this command. Okay, so all this is not available yet in the web app version. Okay, you can execute the file, but you're not able to do for the web app. So for example, it's execute, you cannot exit the file, okay? You cannot just save or something, that one is not available yet on the web app version. So if let's say you want to see on the web app, Okay, need to open the portal. You need to open the web app version first. Minitab portal. Okay, so you need to sign up first, sign in first. If you already have this one. Okay, so you're able to see it. Okay, so for this case, I have this one, open web app. Okay, you log in, so you have the open web app. Okay, so this one is something like web app is almost 90-70%. I think is the same with the desktop app. Okay, and then you can go for the file. You see the run script. Okay, you see the run script here. For example, I want to file. I want to open worksheet or project. Okay, so I want to just only from the local file. Okay, click OK. And then I want to this one. Okay, I want to book one. Okay, I open the project file. It's not so. Oh, sorry. File open worksheet. Sorry, this one. Open. Okay. Local file. Okay. We go for the yes. Okay, view it. Click open. Okay, so I open this. Okay, so you can save it. So you already have. I open already this portion. Okay, for the field weight here. Okay, so you go for the file. You can open actually in the web app. You can open file from the project or worksheet. Okay, or you have, or we have another our software. We call it Minitab Connect. Okay, so for the worksheet, you're able to open from the OneDrive. Let's say you save it on the OneDrive, or you can open from the Google Drive, or you can open from the local file. So same scope for the run script. So your script in the run script, you're able to see the right. Okay, so for the execute, and then you click browse. So where you save it, okay, and then click OK. Okay, that's stop. Okay, so I have to fill it. Click open. Okay, return run it. Okay, so already have this one. Okay, so for this case, we are already open the file, and then we run the script from the file, and then run the script. So all the script you need to save on the MTB file extension. So you get the here on that one already have the subscript here. Okay, we have the box plot. Okay, you have the IMR file chart. So for this case, or this one. So this one week one. So if let's say you open the week two, okay, so you go back to the file, run script. So you browse again back to this one. This one I save it on the local file, then run it. Okay, so this one is the fourth week two. Okay, so or if let's say you have week three, so you can run file and then run script. Okay, so this one is the the way or the step is same side for the desktop version also for this case. Okay, for the web app. And then the next one is something. For this case, already done it. Okay, so if let's say you want to try it with the run with the execute the task scheduler, but this task scheduler is from the Windows programming. So I think all of us have the task scheduler. You want to link the Minitab with the task scheduler. So if let's say you already come in the new data set, come in and then you want to automate that or something like XBar chart, histogram, and send all this one. So you can live with the task scheduler. Okay, so how to do? Okay, so you need to open the task scheduler first. Okay, you need to go for the file and then open the task scheduler. And then in the open the task scheduler, you can go for the something like create the basic task. Okay, so you can create the basic task. Okay, so you can create the basic. Okay, so you rename the name. For example, here is a demo 2. And then I click next. Okay, for this task is a daily. Maybe you want to do weekly. Next. And then here maybe you choose the start date and then you choose the time when you want to execute all the tasks. Okay, so for example here maybe we try with the 41. Okay, and then click next and then start the program. Okay, and then this one browse here. For example, I want to fill with the open. Okay, and then the next. Okay, finish. So you need to wait for 11:41. So task scheduler will trigger up all this one and then they run it to you. Okay, so you can link together with the Minitab extension. So but all the file, okay, so you need already code all this one. So you need to link with the task scheduler. Okay, so this one is one of the link or connection Minitab with the others programming. Okay, so if let's say you want to add something with link with your database or so on, so you able to do. Okay, but maybe have something like you need to have programming first. Okay, to link with your database. Or, okay, so for this case, you can run something like that one. It's a task instrument. So you go for the database and then Windows scheduler, trigger out for the cache the data set, then build the MR chart and save the MR chart and then execute and then you can get the new report. So all this one you can integrate with the Minitab. So for this case, I will just show on the task scheduler. Okay, so for this case, okay, so now the pop-up, okay, and then I will try it. Click open. So you execute this one. So you can open the file. Okay, for example here. So already in here we have a graph 1, graph 2, graph 3, and then we have the example 1. So all this one is a trigger by the Windows task scheduler. Okay, you can link with the task scheduler. Minitab macro file, link with the task scheduler. This one is one of the automation you can do. Okay. So next one is the integration. So as I just mentioned, a new Minitab 19, we can integrate with the Python integration. So I think if let's say you allow people to execute the external Python script to use optional Minitab variable, something like columns, constant, matrices as input. Okay, you can return to Minitab and display the output navigator and the output pane, which is you have a script from the Python side, something like you doesn't have in the Minitab tools. Okay, so maybe you can have a script for the Python to run it, something like qqplot we doesn't have in the Minitab graphical. So but you want, so maybe you can go for the Python code first and then you can run into Minitab side. Okay, so you can run Python script from the Minitab in 3 ways. Same go for the R also. We have a, you can run with the code script like PYSC. PYSC is a common in the command line, is a common for the Python script. Okay, you need to start with the PYSC, or you can run a Minitab execute, and then you can customize the interface to run a Minitab execute that includes the PYSC. So for the Python PYSC, and then the supported requirement you need to have in your laptop or your PC, you need, we have a Minitab support with the Python 3.6 or highest. So meaning to say that you need to install the Python in the 3.6 or highest. And then you need to have a Python libraries that required to run the script must be installed before they can import in a script side. So we have a package, or we call it module. You need to install the mtbp py for the Python side. If let's say you doesn't, you already install the Python, but you not install the package mtpby, so this command cannot, Minitab cannot trigger this command. So you need to install the mtbpy. So if let's say you are familiar with the Python, we have a lot of package for the Python inside there, but for Minitab side, you need to install the mtbpy module. Okay, so we have installed the mtb mode to run the Python script in the Minitab. Okay, we try first for this case. Yes, okay, I open the Minitab. Okay. Okay, so now I already already installed the Python side. Okay, we want to see on the PYSC. Okay, so I try with the first one. Let's see. Test.py. Okay, and then we can run it. Okay, so now already Minitab successfully located your Python installation. So meaning to say that if let's say you have a code or you have the script from the Python side, now you can run the Python inside this output pin. Okay, for example here, something like I have a code. I have example here. Try first PYSC. So click run. Okay, so for this case, if let's say warning or error, something like they give it you the instruction, what happened to no such file or directory. So for this case, you need to go for the file. Okay, so you go for the option first. So you need to clear where you save it, the file. Okay, you need to clear first. Okay, for option here, for example, here in the default setting or default location for my Minitab is document Minitab, but my file for this Python is not there. So that's why I need to change it to where I save it, the Python. Okay, the Python side, where I save the Python side. So I go back to this one. Okay, just you need to declare first, okay, where you save it. For this case, I got Python, and then click OK, and then click OK. So for example, I go back to this command line, write it back, so run again. Okay, so all this one is not in this also. Okay, I go back to this one. Let me check it. Face this one, click OK. So real-time finders. Okay, back. Oh, not here. It's not here. Okay, in here. Click back to this one. Open back. running. Okay, sorry. Okay, so now Minitab already trigger where I save it, the file. So I go back to this one and then I save all the file for the Python side in the Python script. So you need to make sure on this location file first before you type the command line here. So for example, here I type in this command line, PYSC, you need to start with the PYSC. So this one is a Python code for the Minitab side. So you are already here. So all this saving or the script in the Python side, okay, save on that folder. So in this side, we have a 30, we have the text file. Okay, sorry, we have the text file. Okay, we have the text file. Okay, I save the word cloud.py. I have a PNG file. I have a text file here. So I type the command line pysc example.py and then I click the run. So I get the result on this one. Okay, I get the result on this one. So I get this. Just all this one is a script from the Python. So you're able to see the output in the output bin in the Minitab side. So now you can integrate with your teammate or data sciences. So you can able to run the Python side in the Minitab. If let's say the graph or something, the analysis is not able in the Minitab. Okay, so you can get the script from the Python side. Okay. So others integration you can see on the R integration, but for the R integration is starting with the Minitab 20. It's not Minitab 19. For Python is a Minitab 19. So the same thing, you can have the call the R script from Minitab Statistical Software, and then you need to have R is a language environment for statistical computing and graphical. So if let's say you are coming from data analyzer, so you are familiar with the R. Okay, so our script is we have three ways. Seems you need to have you can run the RSCR. Okay, just now is a Python is PYSC. So this one is RCCR is a command for the R integration. Okay, you need to start with the RCSC, and then you can execute the external RC script that use the Minitab Statistical Software, and the result are returned to Minitab back. Okay, so since you need to have the desktop version 20.2, and then you can check the version this one. So you need to install the R 4.1.0. Okay, this one is the, and then you install the module MTBR. Okay, MTBR, and then you can verify the Minitab version. So you need to have a command like RSCR. Okay, so same step with the Python just now. Okay, so you can command line here. Okay, so we show this one. Wait, I do this. Video open. Okay, I go to file first, then option. Okay, so why are in this? Okay, click OK. Then click OK. So RC, okay, you need to remember RC, RSCR. Okay, enter it with the testing. Test the R. Okay, and then you can run. Okay, you can run it. So meaning to say that I already installed the Minitab, installed the R, and then I will integrate in the Minitab. So if let's say I have script from the R version, from the R script, and then I can run or execute the file in the file and run the script. Okay, successfully. And then here I have an example here. Okay, one example here. Okay, so I want to create the QQ plot. Okay, I want to create the QQ plot. Okay, I want to create QQ plot for the hospital A and hospital B. So because for the QQ plot is not able, and then it's not in the Minitab function. That's why I need to have from the script. Okay, script from the R integration. So for example, here is a QQ plot. Sorry. RSCR. Okay, you try for the QQ plot. Okay. Splitter E. Splitter B. Okay. And then can you run it? You can run it. Okay. So now you're able to see the QQ plot in the Minitab side. Okay, because the QQ plot is not in this graphical in Minitab side. So this one is maybe it help you if let's say you want to see more on the data analysis, graphical visualization, so you can integrate with the other software. Before this, the version we cannot integrate in any software. But now for the starting with the Minitab 19, you're able to integrate with the other software. Okay, some Python, and then now this is for the R situation. Okay, so okay, sorry. Okay, they're already. So if let's say you have question, please type them into the Q&A session. Okay, for this case. So hope you will have some idea for today how to do automation in the Minitab using the macro. You can link Minitab with the task scheduler, and then you can integrate Minitab with the Python and the R software. Okay, so I have a question here. Okay, how is web version of Minitab different with the desktop version? I think for the web version, almost 97. But if let's say you want to more, you can email me and then I will show the differences between desktop version and the web version. Okay. Version 20.3 and version 20.1, what is differences? Okay. So if let's say 20.3, 20.2, 20.1 with the 20.1, 21.1, if let's say changing in the first 10, okay, 20 with the 21 is something like we call it upgrade version. So you need to have the fee inside the 20, go 21. If let's say 20.2, 20.3 is something we call it update version. So no fee on that one. Okay. So for this case, okay, this question. Okay, so from the version 20 to 21, no, not the free update. Okay, you need to upgrade the version. Okay. Yes, I will send this material, but you need to drop your email. Okay. Only to the inversion. Okay. I'm not sure on macro one is you can run in the 80 version. Okay, but integration is cannot. Integration with the Python and then R is not able to do. But if let's say version 80 to do macro, execute the macro, one is can. Okay, you can link also with the task scheduler also for the 80 version. Okay. Can I run the macro in the background like using this scheduler? Yes, just now I show the, for example, it's task scheduler. If let's say you want to link with the Visual Basic also can, but a little bit programming. I'm not the programming person to do. Okay. Okay, you drop your email into the chat box and respond. Okay, what kind of a situation we need to switch to Python or R? Okay, something like Minitab not able to run the analysis, something like ggplot. For current version, we doesn't have any graphical for the ggplot, for example. So you need to able to change, you need to have the script from the Python or R. Something like you cannot done with the Minitab tools. Okay. Possible to the output dashboard in HTML file. This one is for Erwin. I will ask our teammate first. Okay, I'm not sure for this case. Okay. This question. This question. This question. Okay. So hopefully you get some idea, extension, something for me, I think is something like is extension functionality of the Minitab itself. So maybe before this, you don't know how to run the macro, Minitab able to do the macro, seems like Excel also. Okay. But if let's say you want more on this one, this portion, you need go for the help. Okay. You need go for the help button here. Okay. So we also have the automate help. To you want to know more on the script or the command line for every tools inside there. Okay, and then you can go for the macro help. Okay, so you can go for the macro help. They give it you the instruction. Also for the integration guideline. So if you're not sure if to integrate or you want to not sure to install the Python integration, so they give it you step to run it, to install what requirement. So you have the something like this one example already in this one. So you can try by yourself first. Okay, you after you download all this file and then you try after by yourself. And then if let's say you have question, you can drop email to me. Okay. Okay, so something like this example here. Okay. Okay, I think this one. Okay. Okay, well, cloud version, something like is not so faster, not so slower. But if let's say this one is depends on your connection, internet connectivity. Okay. But I think I see on the web app for the new one is more than first version. Okay. So before this, we not have you cannot edit the file the graph, but now you able to do for new version for our apps. Okay. Web apps is something like we do for accessibility. So where you go, you can open the Minitab and then run your analysis. Okay. Because this analysis part, you need to have practical. You need to run it and run and run. Okay. So thank you guys. If let's say you have more and then you want to more know about us, okay, about our product, you can visit the Minitab www.minitab.com or www.bizit.com. Or if let's say you have a more inquiry on this or the product or this webinar or something training or others one, so you can contact us through the Minitab at bizit.com or sales@bizit.com. So hopefully you can follow us in the media, social media, something like Facebook and link Minitab Malaysia and Singapore. And then hopefully you enjoy this webinar. And then thank you, and maybe we see again for the next different topic with a different topic. So thank you.